Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl back again for another movie review, and I just got back from watching the Suicide Squad movie. I actually went to the theater after over a year uh, from the last time I've been at the movie theater. The last time I went to the movie theater was to see the Sonic movie, I think. It was somewhere between Sonic and something else. But Sonic sticks out in my mind. But uh, it was great to be in those recliners. It wasn't that many people, so I didn't have to worry about crowds. I think most people went on Friday. Today is Saturday. As I'm doing this video, so it wasn't that large of a gathering. But it was just nice to just be around people. It was like a food court, and it was like it was just like seeing people out and about, and it was just like I know it was like here in Illinois they put back like the whole mask mandate and everything like that. I was fully vaccinated. The theater was allowing people to come in to not wear their masks if they are fully vaccinated. I was fully vaccinated, but I still had my mask just in case for any particular reason. If the venue decided, like, hey, we need you to actually put on your mask, I had one handy so I can just put it on without any fuss. But anyway, I got a tub of popcorn. The only thing I wish they had like the candy that I wanted, because like there's like a little like Snicker type of candy bits that I was kind of looking forward to having along with my popcorn and drink. I had to settle for like Butterfinger bites because that's the closest thing I felt like eating because I didn't want any other candy. Uh, Next week I will go see Free Guy at the theater, but yeah. So it's back to like my movie going experiences, and depending on, because I'm not sure how long they're gonna keep at it with the streaming service. I could have had watched the Suicide Squad on HBO Max, but I thought like I take the opportunity, like no, I want to actually see this in the movie theater. I want to go out and like pick us on the E afterwards and just just enjoying myself a bit. But anyway, right at the beginning, I just want to say I overall love this film. It's definitely way better than David Ayer's Suicide Squad movie, and it's kind of a sequel to that, but kind of like low key trying to soft reboot itself in a way, the same way like X-Men did. So it's kind of like the unspoken, like just ignore it. We're not, we're still acknowledging it to some fashion, but we're just gonna just leave it there. Let's leave it over that side. We don't have to bring it up again. It's gonna be rebooted in the Flash movie soon anyway, so no one's gonna give a crap. But yeah, this movie is just a thrill. A thrill to see. I highly recommend it. Definitely fun. Uh, of course, this is like right out the gate. You get to see the different Suicide Squad members that you don't see very long. Because given the trailers, there's certain people like I kind of had a feeling that's not gonna be, not gonna survive at the end of all this. Like, this is my personal take on the subject. There's certain celebrities that I don't care for, as nothing to say for their personal selves, their individual selves, like outside of their craft or anything like that. It's just that someone like Nick Cannon, or in this case Pete Davidson, I don't get them. It's like I don't understand why people enjoy Pete Davidson. Like, why, I don't know, why is he funny? He's not that funny. And the fact that like a guy lands like extremely attractive women, it just boggles the mind. No one's that fucking funny. And it's like it's not like the guy oozes charm really. it's like, I don't know. It's just like, it's not, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't get him. It's like other people might do, and it's like, if he's your bag, that's fine. It's just not mine. He doesn't survive, thank God, that long, so I don't have to really put up with his shenanigans. Uh, so right at the beginning, Waller recruiting uh, Flagg's Suicide Squad. And like, Katana's not explaining why she's not here. And I understand, like, Joe Kinnaman, who plays Rick Flagg, didn't like that line he was given, the whole, "This is Katana, she got my back." I low-key kind of like it. I don't know why I liked it. I know it's stupid as all hell, for a line read, but God, the way Joe Kinnaman did it is just so damn funny to me. And it's like, I kind of want to say it to introduce somebody like, "Yo, this is so-and-so. She got my back." I just kind of want to do that. Just it's just that funny to me. It's like there's no reason to even explain it that way. But unfortunately, Katana's not in this, nor is Killer Croc, which is fine. Captain Boomerang is back. And of course, like, Will Smith wasn't gonna reprise his role in this Suicide Squad movie. I guess because I believe he had like other commitments before they decided on James Gunn, and at the end of the day, to direct this movie. So they brought in Idris Elba, who plays Bloodsport. And I love Idris Elba. He's an amazing actor. Ironically, he's Black Superman. He's playing a guy who shot Superman. You see in the trailers, like, he's incarcerated for putting Superman in the ICU. And if you don't know that, Bloodsport's, he's technically a Superman villain. In the comics, he was hired by Lex Luthor to use a kryptonite bullet to shoot Superman. But he kind of went. Well, in the comics, he kind of went nuts and started shooting villains just to get Superman to come out, or draw him out before he ended up shooting him. But in the movie, it's a completely different reason. But he still ended up shooting him. That's why he's in prison. He is recruited by Amanda Waller in order to, avoid getting his daughter, who is kind of estranged, or, he's kind of like, kept at a distance for her protection, because he doesn't see him. Given the fact that he had like a bad childhood with his father, who apparently, when he doesn't do a task right, he lock him in a crate or something, and that's why he had like a fear of rats, because there's a bunch of hungry rats who end up crawling inside, and he just, he it's a funny moment. We had like a phobia of rats, because he ended up working with Ratcatcher 2, who is the daughter of the Ratcatcher that we knew from like Batman comics. He's in like one episode of the Batman the Anime series, I believe. He's in one of the Batman TV shows back in the day. I believe it was the animated series. But in this movie, Taika Waititi, played, a Ratcatcher 2's father, who's apparently in this movie, he's like he was a good father, but he was also a junkie. And then we'll get to the funny moment later on, but then Waller brought in Peacemaker, played by John Cena, who, just a side note, me and John Cena share the same birthday, which is awesome. It's like, it's just an awesome feeling to share the same birthday with an actor especially an actor that you really like. I love John Cena and the stuff he's in. He's hilarious. Next to like The Rock, he's like one of my favorite wrestlers. I haven't watched, wrestling since I was a little kid. I kind of grew out of that. It's not really my bag anymore. But the times that I did see, I definitely enjoyed seeing The Rock growing up, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, and yeah, it's just like John Cena was probably like the well, I seen other Batista and everybody else from the wrestling community, transfer into acting, but I think like John Cena was like next to The Rock was easily one of my favorite wrestlers. And it's cool to like to share a birthday with him. This makes me feel good. Uh, 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 next he like she recruits like this King Shark, who's voiced by Sylvester Stallone. Kind of really wish they would have gone with Ron Funches, who voiced King Shark in the Harley Quinn show, but that's just me. I think he did a better job. I mean, not that Sylvester Stallone did not do a good job with King Shark in his take, but it's just that I'm just used to if like people give King Shark any kind of speaking roles, I prefer not a dumb kid mindset that speaks a few words jumbled up to make a sentence. This is my take on the subject. But like I did enjoy this for what was brought out. It was fine to me. It was just like I just like the Harley Quinn version better. Then of course you get a Ratcatcher too. But they serve as like the main force to go into this Corto Maltese government to not take out like the political dictators that overthrew the previous establishment, who apparently hung the former presidente and his entire freaking family. It was really hard to see. But that wasn't an objective. They was going after Jotunheim, this facility that's supposed to be housing some kind of like alien weapon. But that was the main focus. How Amanda Water got the OG Suicide Squad, or at least like quote unquote OG because of Rick Flagg and Harley Quinn and Captain Boomerang, to serve as like more of a distractionary force. Of course, they think they're the main force. They got Michael Rooker, supposed to be leading this squad, and got Weasel, played by James Gunn's brother, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, TDK, Javelin. I forgot what Pete Davidson's character's name was, but it's fine. Don't think I'm forgetting anybody, but they, no, Rick Flag was there with them, and they jump, make a jump into the water, try to sneak on land. Of course, nobody briefed anybody that Weasel can't swim. Rooker, I forgot Rooker's character's name, but dragged the Weasel out of the water. Surprising, a few people didn't think like he go out his way to save, especially a creature no less. Oh, and there was like Mongal, I guess like one of the alien races of Mongol, who's a Superman villain as well. And they get to shore. Weasel is dead right away from drowning. Then Pete Davidson turned turncoat after they, got spotted immediately by the Corto Maltesians. And as soon as they realized that, Pete Davidson character, betrayed them, he's sitting there walking on the beach and saying like, "I was the one who called you guys." And then it's like he immediately gets shot in the face. Did not lose any sleep over that. Glad he's just over and out the way. Then it's like, you know, Margot Robbie is sitting at the beach while like they sitting there watching. He's sitting there watching the other people just like shoot at or attack the army, which they have no chance, obviously, to fighting back. You know, they heavily outgunned. Mongal. I mean, of course, you get to see Captain Boomerang kill a few people with his boomerangs the way you would expect Captain Boomerang being like a Flash villain to be able to be a. And he's not a joke. He is actually a serious freaking villain, despite his jokey nature. He's kind of like Batman's batarangs with all serve different functions. You know, Captain Boomerang, especially if you see him on the Green Arrow TV show, he's shown up in both Flash and the Green Arrow TV show on the CW before. He's, played more seriously that too. It's very freaking dangerous. He killed, sliced people's, like, one dude's head off and one half of his head off with one of his boomerangs. Mongal took down a chopper by, like, using her strength and just, like, bringing it down, but ended up getting burnt alive in the process while the, helicopter blades start, turning everybody to mulch. Then, Captain Boomerang get, like, caught up in, like, shrapnel, and then the helicopter blew up and took him out. That's probably the one death, like, I was just, like, actually sad, because Guy Courtney, despite how most people feel about, like, the original Suicide Squad movie, he played his role very well. I liked him in that one, too. It's just a shame to see him go out like that. Rick Flagg got, well, I guess he went a different way and got, he got away from the forces that was like shooting at him, got busted by some rebel forces along the way. So he's MIA essentially. Harley Quinn got, arrested, while like characters like Javelin got shut up. She managed to get his javelin, and it was a funny one. It's just like, he was, as he's dying, it's like, it's like you take this javelin, and it's like, and he's just smacking him in the face like, take the javelin, what? It's like Margot Robbie. I love Margot Robbie. I always liked Harley Quinn's character, but Margot Robbie made me love Harley Quinn, and it's like, and appreciate the Harley Quinn show twice as much when that came out on, well, originally DC Universe, but now HBO Max. Man, that was, she made me love Harley Quinn. I just like, it's just as equally as Tara Strong made me love Harley Quinn. TDK, he did, detachable kid, and he's in a detaching his arms, and he just like doesn't do nothing with that. He's just like slapping dudes around, and everybody's looking around like, what the fuck? It's like, what am I looking at? And then like he's shooting up his arms, and he's just like on the ground, like just wailing, like, oh God. It was like, he's done. Javelin got riddled with bullets. And then Margot Robbie's character sitting there like screaming on the beast like a little bitch. And as soon as like shit got real, and it's like early in the movie, you thinking like he's like gonna be like a hardcore character. He's sitting there like playing ball in like a walled off room, and then like killed a little bird with. There's a lot of dead birds in this, but he's killing like a bird with the bouncing ball he was using, and giving 0 F's about it. And then he's sitting there like screaming and wailing, and then trying to swim out to sea. Like, dude, the chopper's gone. Where do you think you're gonna go? Out in this middle of a dead sea. So Amanda Waller you know, order his head to be blown up, he's gone. Uh, so in transitions, uh, the main force led by Bloodsport, and Bloodsport's, well, he's not having any superpowers, but in the comics, he has a device that enables him to teleport any weapon he wants to him at any time. But in the movie, it's like his whole entire suit, he can just like take pieces of it and fashion it into whatever kind of gun he likes. And like he got like a wrist mounted thing where he's like he shoots arrows out of him, like he just pulls like a pin back and like outfires arrows. It's like it's just cool to see him just his whole body suit is just like components for more weird guns. And I was like, oh, that's kind of freaking badass. Not that it puts Deadshot to shame, but it's just like it'll be interesting to see, like, because Deadshot, he uses guns. He doesn't pull out of thin air or fashion ones. He just like, he's just really good at like shooting, like, without miss. But when like John Cena's character, who him and Bloodsport just have this like rivalries, like just like measuring dicks between each other, and it's like he just like knows how to utilize his weapons as well. And it was like a joke earlier. It's like, are you kidding me? Why'd you need this guy? It's like, if you got a guy, you got a guy to do exactly what I do. And it's like, this is like immediately, yeah, but better. And it's like, God, I was like, I immediately love these two. They like try to camp for the night, and then King Shark, this Polkadot Man, I forgot about the Polkadot Man, played by the same actor who played in a lot of different various DC properties. Apparently, he's the voice of Calendar Man, the new Long Halloween animated film. But he's also, if you remember the Dark Knight movie, Christopher Nolan's movie, he's that crook that Harvey Dent captured, who was supposedly working for the Joker, and he's like threatening to shoot him as he flipped the coin before Batman stops him. He was also in the TV show Gotham, being like a Joker idealist, or kind of like a follower. And he's he was also Abracadabra in the CW Flash show, which is like, dude, you've been almost in everything. It's like I only recognize you in like 2 of these things. It's like I recognize you from Dark Knight and from the Gotham show, because maybe like the prosthetics you didn't look all that different, except for like I didn't recognize him right away in the Flash, nor in this until I actually seen the movie, because like I'd seen the trailer like 1,000 times the way it's been marketed, and like I did not put the face to the man. But he always plays like side wacky characters. It's like always insane kind of characters. And apparently, because to his point of view, because he's really crazy, to his point of view, he always sees everybody as his mother, and who he ended up not sure if he actually killed her, but that's how he's able to. He despises killing people, except if they look like his mother. He visualizes his mother. That's how he's able to kill people, to go through the kill. Apparently, his mother experimented on him and his siblings to try to make superheroes, but some didn't make it, and he and maybe 1 or 2 probably survived. But his polka dots is like he's like merged with some kind of like interdimensional kind of thing, or it's like interdimensional virus or something like that he described. And it's like he had to expel that at least twice a day before, unless it will consume him, something like that. And every so often, people look at him, seeing like, it's like he's getting, color coded rashes, but then it starts like going into like mumps almost, and so he goes off in the middle of like the woods to just look like he's throwing all that up, and he comes back perfectly fine. And it's like this weird. You just see like these technicolor bursts coming out of the woods, and it's like waking up. Luckily it woke Bloodsport up in time just to see like Ratcat's about to be eaten by King Shark until he like just like takes out his gun to start blasting at him. Didn't kill him. King Shark is actually pretty durable. It'll take a lot to actually get get him to bleed at all. And because Ratcatcher is like constantly always sleeping, especially during the day. But she, you know, stuck up for him and saying like, "Oh, he wouldn't do that. He got kind eyes." And I love Ratcatcher in this. I didn't think I would like her that much until like I see the dynamic between her and Bloodsport play out. It's very cool. When I seen her in the trailer, when they talking like, "I'll get you out of there. I'll make sure I get you out of here too," and it's like two things. One, I thought they was gonna have some kind of romantic relationship. It didn't turn out that way. It seemed more like you mentioned like he sees her like reminds him she reminds him of his daughter because she got pinched for stealing or at least getting rats to steal. And second, forgot my train of thought. Shoot, but yeah, she's trying to get him to warm up because like one of her closest rats, I forgot the main rat that she's always has with her, always trying to, befriend Bloodsport. But he has like a. That's when like the whole when she's trying to get like a bunch of rats to come after King Shark. After King Shark insinuates he wants to eat Sebastian. I think that's the rat's name. But then it's like she got this little device and like, gathers the rats that's in the woods to swarm, and he's just like, Bloodsport start freaking out, and like John Cena in a tidy whities just start laughing. It was my favorite part. That honestly was probably one of my favorite parts of this film. Just watching Idris Elba freak the fuck out, around like all these like rats, and he's like, just like this hardcore dude just like turns to a little kid. Is like, oh. It's just John Cena just laughing at him in his tidy whities. It's just like no fucks given. I was like, you laughing at me? Why are you in his tidy whities? It's like, don't be racist, bro. Why is that racist? Like, my God, that was so freaking funny. I was like, I love that. Oh my God. They, Ratcatcher and King Shark like patch things up. Decided like just be friends and like let's move forward from there. So like the people in the communications room with Amanda Waller got a ping on a signal left by Rick Flagg, so they had to take a detour into. It kind of reminds me of the first Predator movie, as like they're coming in and they're taking out these like militia soldiers, like very stealthily and like awesomely. It kind of reminds me of the way like Arnold Schwarzenegger's team did in the first Predator movie at the beginning when they're coming in to take out like those guys. And it's like just to see, and I like Bloodsport's outfit. He's just like it kind of like it shapes up, and it's like kind of like a skull jaw over this like kind of xenomorph kind of like visor, and he just like all you gotta do is like just lift it up like that, and just like retracts back, and it's like for some reason that looks so badass. And they sitting there like walking in, you know, and then Bloodsport and uh, Peacemaker both sitting there trying to like kill, see who can make the best kills between the two of them, and it's like, John Cena's like doing his jerking off, uh, motion towards Bloodsport, and Bloodsport's just flipping him off, and and they're like, you know, shooting darts at this guy using a garage and like doing like slick, no look shots, taking people out, and it's like, I think Bloodsport said something like, nobody likes to show off, except in John Cena's like, except if what you're showing off is fucking awesome. And it's like, damn it, he's right. And it's like, it's just that, there's that small camaraderie. It was just great. It's this kind of things you didn't see in the original Suicide Squad movie. It was just like, I won't say bland, but it's just like, you actually, first and foremost, you can actually see what's going on, unlike like the putties that you barely saw that they had to fight. And I like the way they, how Margot Robbie looks in this. She didn't dress like skimpy Hot Topic bullshit. This is like, not only very Harley Quinn outfit like she would have wear, but also practical. You know what I mean? It's not, just to like, it's not like something like you see like, like, here, wear this. This is, titillating stuff for the boys in the room kind of thing. It's like, no, she, that's the thing about like, if you don't have like a woman, setting up like, the costume designs or whatever like that, or the director said like, I want like the costumes looking like this or whatever like that, or at least if it's not a female doing all that decision, it's ideal that you give a woman like practical stuff to wear, and just her inner strength fills out the beauty. It by itself, it will do the job for you. Okay, it's just like, I love Harley Quinn. Like early in the movie, what she had on early in the movie fits perfectly. It wasn't like just just titillating stuff for the boys. It's like, it's probably arguably more hot than like anything she wore in the original Suicide Squad film. Like, but that's just my take on it. I like the way it's funny how like Margot Robbie is one like the the as far as like actors, she's like at least the third highest, behind like at least equally as Idris Elba and Joel Kinnaman. But she's like not sidelined, but it's kind of like because everybody got equal time in this, but she gets her own time when like in a side, kind of like a side story where it's two like dictators that overthrew the government. One of which, this dude who's like wants like his people to see him as he's the actual presidente, and the other dude is the general, and he sees her like a possible like potential wife, the way she's like as he sees like ruthless and a rebel against her American government. She anti-American. They end up sleeping together because Harley Quinn like looking at him like coming out the pool like just in a little Speedo and all those 8-packs going on, and then like birds flying and everything like that, and they end up sleeping together. But then he's like looking out the window at the Jotunheim factory, and it's like, he's going off on his villain monologue, and then as soon as he started mentioning how like anybody who opposes him, he'll kill, like, the men, the women, their children. As soon as he said that, he immediately shoots him with no, you know other words, beforehand. She's like, bap. And it's like, and then she just starts like going off on like, this is where she talks about the Joker, but I don't even have to mention the Joker. It's like, when like I end up getting caught up with guys that's like, you know, uh, start talking about, killing children. And it's just like, I told myself I'm nipping in the butt right away because I can't get caught up in that kind of stuff anymore. You understand? Now, you have an amazing penis, RIP to the penis, but it's like, I just can't, like, I can't dig a guy like that. And then she's like, immediately captured again, and they start like zapping her, trying to get information from her. She has a badass fight, escaping her captivity, and just like, especially, it's very reminiscent of some kind of John Wick like escape. And she's just in there bashing a dude's brains in with a fence door, and it was just like, she just like just badassing it up in that whole entire scene. The only thing that probably would have made it even better if it's like all in one shot. But then she's sitting there like, coming after them with like assault rifles and flower petals coming up. She utilizing the javelin, and like it's cutting dudes open and flowers pop out. It's like, oh yeah, I expect this from Harley Quinn. And 10 out of 10 on this scene, man. But then before all that, they, the Bloodsport's team meet up with, after they, take out all these little militia dudes, they find Rick Flagg, and he's talking with the rebel leader, this lady, who I swear I recognize her in something, but it's not coming to mind. But I know I recognize her in something. But she's just like flummoxed how like all, not all of them, but like most of her people is in there like dead, and it's like, Bloodsport and Peacemaker is looking at each other like, just like, Rick Flag just like, oh my god, yeah, they're stupid clearly, but like we're definitely like on your side on this, and trying to help them depose these like dictators. So they meet up with Milton, is her contact, who's going to drive them into town, and they're supposed to meet up with another Flash villain, the Thinker, played by, I forgot his name. I think his last name is Gracie or something like that. And he's supposed to be helping for like apparently over 30 years. He was helping the Culture Maltese people with their alien weapon. Well, more on that later. So they hop into town. They stop at the bar where he usually frequents, and they sit and getting drinks, and like you just see them. It's kind of like the Avengers or Age of Ultron, when they all just piling around in that party and stuff like that. Just seeing the camaraderie. That's just like an amazing setup for like some downtime and some like, may not get to know you stuff, but just them seeing them piling around and just like, you just like, just to see them like just like bond, when they finally get the Thinker, they they get reflect on like, we'll definitely shut this place down, but we need to pick up Harley, because they, from the last one, they become like friends, like true blue friends. So they were at least attempt to like try to break in to get her out, but she's already out. So they come together, and Milton drives them. Well, not Milton himself, but like the Thinker, since he has access, gets them inside. And might I add, for some reason, Milton coming along, and I see him, walking inside the Yodelmine building with them for some odd reason. I'm like, dude, why can't you be like the getaway driver or something like that? Like, why are you walking in this dangerous situation with them? And they didn't even realize he's with them until like, you know, uh, halfway into the building, he's getting shot up by, any personnel that's inside. And he's sitting there, Polkadot Man is the only one that's actually distraught, while Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn and Bloodsport is like, who's Milton? It's like, Milton, our contact, the guy who got in the bar and everything like that. It's like, he was here this whole time? It's like, yeah. That was another funny moment. Just like, R.I.P. Milton. Because, like, he brought them quesadillas, and it's like, as they was hashing out their plan to get inside the Jotunheim building. And it was like, damn, that's some good freaking comedy, man. Before I end up forgetting, now, there's a lot of gratuitous, I won't say gratuitous, but it's, people dying left and right, in the most, like, crazy fashions. But I can't explain it. But it seems appropriate in this movie than anything I've seen in like the TV show The Boys, because I don't understand why. Because like I had my fill with like the Boys stuff, maybe because I got tired of their cynicism in that when it comes to superheroes, but I can easily swallow this, because they're mostly bad guys, so I expect them to behave this way. So it isn't, but it's just, they're not gratuitous violence for the sake of gratuitous violence or shock. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, I can't find the word for it. I'm not sure smart is the word for it, because other people might argue like, something like The Boys or Invincible is smart in a way too, but I disagree. It's just like, it's just, it's just like, and this is just like more palatable in a way for me to like, yeah, I'm like, I none of this kind of stuff made me turn away, except, I think like I've mentioned this now, like, the deaths, the only, deaths is like, I felt like really sad for is, once again, this is spoiler here, the death of Captain Boomerang, and also the death of Polkadot Man, who went out like a badass too, might I add. But they went inside. They was planning, explosive on each level. One group goes to the basement area to find whatever that's down there. Rick Flagg, Ratcatcher, and the Thinker, and they come across Starvo, the Conqueror, who, if you ever seen like any of the, like, most notably, if not the comics, most notably, if you ever watched Batman Brave and the Bold, he definitely has like a big, as like an arc dealing with that in like, season 1 or 2 of Batman Brave and the Bold, and another few episodes in the Justice League animated series, and definitely one episode in Batman Beyond, or no, 2 episodes in Batman Beyond. So like I know of Starro definitely, and it's just like a big mind controlling star that births little tiny starfish that takes over any being with a face, and mind controls them, kind of like in a hive mind. So, Thinker tells Rick and Ratcatcher that, it wasn't the Coulter Maltese people who captured Starro, is the American government. It is brought the alien here off site, so no prying eyes from the home country will be, making a fuss over it, while they run experiments on, just people over in this area, whomever they so choose to run tests on and report back, their findings so they can better utilize. That's what the original Presidente was doing before he was overthrown. Uh, but to Rick's rage, he's like, we're going to blow this whole thing wide open because this is like, this is like horrific. And yet, like, you're torturing, women, children, and like in these various peoples left and right for over 30 years. And according to like the thinker, most of them are only being stay on their feet mostly because of the starfish on their face. Take them off, they're cooked. They just dead. They're just corpses walking, thanks to the starfish. But Peacemaker shows up, saying like he's like the a man of water's backup to make sure that information doesn't go out. Bombs, at least the explosion went off earlier than what they thought it would happen, because apparently, after Milton got shot up, whatever the explosives they had left in their hand was on the floor, and Polkadot Man shot out his polka dots, to attack any more of the forces that's coming that way. One hit one of the devices, another big explosion, and starting to collapse in the building. Peacemaker and Rick Flagg fight. Peacemaker end up stabbing Flagg through the chest, which is another hard thing for me to see. It's like, because Joel Kinnaman played that role of Rick Flagg very well. It was sad to see him go. Maybe, I'm not sure. They're gonna end up rebooting the DC universe anyway with the Flash movie, so more than likely we can get Joel Kinnaman back as Rick Flagg again. But it was just like, sad to see, him taken out. And then, of course, Ratcatcher got the disk drive that he was struggling over Flagg with, and she sent him running away with him right on her tails, because she agrees. It's like, this is horrific and it needs to get out. He was about to shoot her until, like, after the whole situation with the explosion going off at the top, Bloodsport, just a very comedic thing, like some you see from a cartoon, saying that, like, he, the ground underneath his feet, starting to falling and, like, collapse on another level, then another level, until he lands at the bottom where, he sees Ratcatcher is about to be shot by Peacemaker. And it's like, it was no words having to be explained. He just, like, he quickly knew, like, immediately, like, oh, you fucking turncoat. And it's like, they both drew their guns, and it's like, it was mentioned earlier in the movie as they're, coming into that little militia attacking them. Bloodsport has more tinier bullets. Apparently, it's supposed to be better, and it went through the Peacemaker's bullet and, like, went right through that into his neck, dropping him. And it's like, I'm thinking in that moment, it's like, God, it just feels like I've seen, like, games or movies where it's like, maybe it's because the bullets are, similar in size, is where I see them, like, just cancel each other out. But at the very least, I should see, those bullets, just bouncing and, taking each other off the trajectory. But no, it just went right through and went on his main course. It's like, realistically, it's like, at the very least, they should just knock each other out of the air, instead of just going right through. That's just me. So Starvo gets loose, started taking control over, the soldiers that's there, and started, going to the city of Closter Maltese, and starting, like, little by little taking over people's mind that was not killed in his little rampage, through the city. And you know, since the facility is destroyed, Waller is telling them to like, okay, job's done. Come back. And it's like, Ratcatcher is just like looking at Bloodsport, like, we can't just lead this monster to tear through town, and there's people there and children. And it's like, it's like you hear the screaming over the horizon and everything like that, and it's like, they all just Polkadot Man, Bloodsport, Ratcatcher, Holly, King Shark, they just head into town to try to do what they can to stop that monster. And like you hear like Melanie Waller and Viola Davis is like the major actress. Like, she's like plays psycho. I want to say psycho, but just like a straight up villain to the villains. Is straight up like, I make the rules. Like, I say leave them. It's like, lady, she mentioned earlier, you'd be surprised like what will let happen. And it's like, come on now, you really gonna let a freaking kaiju size monster tear through town and possibly won't stop there and start going through more cities. And it's like, you could have easily nipped in the bud right there and just let them deal with it, but no. But then as soon as like she was about to like detonate all their heads, one of the computer people there, this lady sitting there, getting one of Waller's golf clubs and just like crack her upside the head, knocking her out, while they just like just took over and just let them know like, all right, the monster's heading straight in, we'll direct you in order to head them off, kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, good on you, like fuck her. It's like, come on. I was like, it's a freaking kaiju monster. I think you can like allow them to do something about it. It's just the only superpower beings there technically. They get in, and while Bloodsport's coordinating, and this is like awesome moment where he's just like taking, like, you get like at least a couple of awesome moments in this third act where it's like he's making this big twirling gun, and he's like taking like piece by piece like from his body armor, and just like making a gun, then making it a bigger gun, then making it even a bigger gun. It's almost like a cannon, and then like that cannon has like these little barrels around that big barrel, and he's like, it's twirling, and he's blasting. I was like, oh fuck yeah. And it's like, I kind of, the Suicide Squad game, which I'm looking forward to, and I want to play it on my Xbox Series S. Like, I kind of want Bloodsport to be in that, because I want to play as Bloodsport, but we already got like a gun guy with Deadshot, because he's like the OG. They got the OG Suicide Squad, but like Bloodsport, I don't know, maybe DLC or something like that. But man, he's Black Superman. Come on, Black Superman. And and it's like, it's a straight up like Avengers moment when it's, remember like Captain America telling like Hulk smash, and it's like Bloodsport got this moment he's telling like King Shark num nums. And it's like, and the King Shark just starts like attacking, just like taking pieces out of that starfish. And then like, the starfish trying to get like, his mind control slaves to start attacking Bloodsport. And it's like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's tough to watch, but it's like, you got mind control people, and you bother to try to like do something to get this, because like I see in like in a many animated TV shows, the way you get those starfish off people's faces, you electrocute them to get them to let go of their host. That's normally how I've seen it been done many times, but he didn't do any of that. He just like, okay, fuck these people at this point, because he's getting overrun. It's pretty much like a freaking zombie fight. uh, and he's sitting there like taking more pieces off him, making blow torches and like blades and like pistols and like all kinds of things. And it's like he's sitting there like just murking a lot of people, a lot of innocent people by and large. And then like Ratcatcher summons every rat in the city, like because I'm half expecting that rat to become like a big firm, like a kind of like freaking Voltron, and like turn to a big kaiju rat or something like that out of millions of rats. But no, it just starts swarming over the city and surrounding and covering that and Starro. And it was like a badass moment. And then because Bloodsport doesn't like the rats, he's sitting there like cuddled in the fetal position, just like trying to like not get like completely bitten or anything like that. While Ratcatcher's like uh guys her hand over him to keep him like calm and everything like that, while she can get all these rats to swarm Starro. And of course at this point like Polkadot Man is already dead after he taken a big chunk of Starro before he went down. At Harley Quinn, along with that javelin, which she's been carrying all this throughout this movie, just like straight up like dive bomb right into the eyeball of this sucker, like a straight up badass. And it's like a nice little scene. It's kind of beautiful but weird look in part where it's like she's just like floating in like the eyeball liquid, as like rats descending inside, nibbling on like the like the nerves and everything like that in the eyeball. And it's like just a beautiful like color combination along with blood flowing through past her, and she's like just looking beautiful at the same time. And like Star Wars down, and just a little bit later, Bloodsport is saying like, we got your information. I would you leave my daughter alone. We get to go free. Otherwise, this goes out. And like Amanda Waller, got no leg to stand on. It was like she not only was willing to let a kaiju starfish rampage through town, killing 1,000 people, but she the one that brought the damn thing on Earth. Or at least she's one of the few people that brought the damn thing to Earth anyway. So, King Shark, Ratcatcher, Bloodsport, and Harley Quinn are all pretty much like free from the Suicide Squad. After that point, so they're off to do their own thing. But there's the end credits where John Cena. There's two end credits. One where like the Weasel is not really dead and he's just walking. He got up and started walking across the beach, and then because I guess he just got a little bit of water in his lungs, he coughed it up. After all this freaking time, it was been like what, a few days. But then John Cena, still alive. His heart was still beating. He was picked up and he's in like in the hospital. And of course he's supposed to be getting like his own TV show with two of the tech people that was in the movie watching over him. I guess supposed to be his kind of like tech support in the TV show, I guess. But it's like a lot of people, and I tend to agree, it's like metaphorically stab Amanda Waller in the freaking back. I'm surprised you was not reprimanded immediately, because like she would have like extremely pissed. And it's like after the stunt you just pulled, I mean, you was right to do it, but the fact that you wasn't at least demoted or fired outright is just amazing to me. But maybe that it will be explained in a TV show. But I thoroughly enjoyed this film, man. It was like a very badass film. I mean, I hate the idea David Ayer just got the short end of the stick, because when he was making his Suicide Squad, 5 years ago, I believe it's been 5 years ago, he was following the order and mandate set by the studio at that time, and at that time, Warner Bros. Was like not trusting their directors to do their own thing and properly set up, because at that time they was rushing trying to catch up to Marvel instead of just letting each movie breathe on its own right. And so I think like David Ayer's kind of like subtly trying to hint at making like getting them to do like an air cut of the Suicide Squad movie. But I'm thinking at this point, uh, you know, only one of y'all was going to get like a cut of y'all movie, and like to be honest, it was going to be Justice League over Suicide Squad. To be honest, dude, and and it sucks. It honestly does suck on his part, because it's not his fault. The movie he brought out wasn't good, because he was just doing what the studio mandated. But then James Gunn came in and he got to do weird stuff. It's like it sucks all around for him, and I do feel bad, because it's like he was just doing what he was told essentially, and he's trying to fit it all in the way they were describing, and while at the same time trying to make a movie that's close to his vision as possible. But I don't know, maybe he'll get a cut. I don't think it's necessary. I think he just need to like, maybe they will give him something else now that they know to let each movie work on its own terms before they do any kind of like merging, especially after they are committed to this Elseworlds project that's look like it's going to be pretty successful, especially after Matt Reeves' Batman, which in like the preview trailers beginning of the movie, we get to see that again. It was a nice refresher, because like nearly forgot about the Matt Reeves Batman, because it's been so long since I've seen that trailer, since it first came out last year. And just like to see like Robert Pattinson just badassing it up as Batman. And I really cannot wait for that movie. I honestly really, really want to see that movie. Especially, they got the Riddler, or at least Proto Riddler, and the Riddler is one of my favorite DC villains. And I think them making him look like the freaking Zodiac killer is like, maybe like I said, it's Proto. Maybe by the end of the film, he's traditional Riddler. But it's just like it's new. It's definitely new. And I think Harley Quinn has an amazing progression over the years since her first introduction in the Batman animated series episode Mad Love up to this point. Being Harley's, being a Joker's girlfriend and, partner in crime, and, and then just progressing from, breaking away from that abusive relationship into her own person. And now, by and large, in current comics, he's kind of hero, borderline, somewhere between like anti-hero to full-blown hero. And I think Poison Ivy, to some extent, is getting that way too, thanks to like the Harley Quinn TV show mostly. But yeah, there's been like cases where it's like you can argue that Poison Ivy's getting to that realm herself. But, for some comic book reviews, I want to do, because it's a graphic novel for Harley Quinn I want to reread. I really enjoyed it, and the art style is amazing. But then there's another one, I think written by the same people who did Harley Quinn, did one for Poison Ivy. I didn't read, but I seen like highlights and pictures of it. So I want to check that out. Maybe that's complete by this point, because I think it started like last year or year before. I can't recall, but I definitely want to look it up and check it out. But yeah, the Suicide Squad movie, like, you can definitely check it out on HBO Max if you have HBO Max. But I do recommend you actually going to the theater if you're vaccinated or at least masked up. Go out to the theater. If the theater is available to you and it's open, definitely go out to the theater to see this movie. Experience the theater experience again. Get reacclimated to be out and about safely. But yeah, I Highly recommend this movie. It's great. It's fun. Everybody involved uh, did a phenomenal job, despite some of them having like a limited amount of screen time compared to others. But you will love every moment, honestly. If I give like anything like negative, if I have anything negative, uh, I wish Guy Courtney stuck around most of the movie as Captain Boomerang. I think he was one of the better parts of the first Suicide Squad movie, along with Will Smith Deadshot and Harley Quinn and Rick Flag. It's one of the few like good parts of the film, despite like certain bad writing decisions and directorial decisions. But yeah, this is like a really good film. As probably I just came back from it. This is probably some stuff that might have slipped my mind. I probably won't. I probably will remember after the video ends. But any other future video that I do, video game wise, or other, spoiler review wise, I might bring up again if it comes to mind. But as it stands, great film. Not perfect or anything like that. It's not going to be like Avengers Endgame kind of level, but this is a very good film. I think it's like they took what worked in the Harley Quinn movie, and as fun of a movie that was, they even more fine tuned it in this film. It's like, okay, now you're you are nailing it now, DC. Just keep at this pace. Don't worry about, because at this point it's too late, but don't worry about what Marvel's doing. Just set your own pace. Do what you're doing. Do the Matt Reeves thing. Work on Aquaman 2. 1 and 2. Was okay in some parts, but not as good as the sequel. I mean, its predecessor. But and Shazam was great. But just keep maintaining this and fine tuning this, because you're on the right path now. So just don't Warner Bros. Just don't meddle too much, and trust your directors to do their freaking job. Okay, but yeah, I will see you guys soon for more spoiler reviews for movies. I might do. There's a couple of movies I want to do before I plan on doing like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies for those reviews, but I want to do a couple of other solo movies before that that I have in mind that's on the list. So look forward to some more fun stuff coming up. So take care, everybody.